these aren't just dinners. They are time machines covered in gravy and cheese. Here are the 30 sinfully good dinners from the 1970s you'll never taste again. Split pea soup wasn't flashy, just thick, hot, and loaded with carrots, onions, and whatever meat scraps you had. One bowl, full belly, no complaints. Mac and cheese with stewed tomatoes was creamy, tangy, and strangely perfect. It hugged you warm, then nudged with a sweet bite of nostalgia. Scalloped chicken casserole was magic on Tuesday. Leftover chicken, creamy sauce, crispy topping. Gone before it cooled. Smothered chicken didn't need a special occasion. Just golden skin, gravy from the pan, and onions cooked low till sweet. Cheddar broccoli rice bake was pantry magic turned vintage comfort. Cheese melted into rice, broccoli softened just right, easy, warm, and good as gold. One of those dinners that made the 1970s feel like home. Chicken fricassee was fancy in name, but humble at heart. Browned chicken in creamy broth, mushrooms, carrots, felt like Sunday in Paris. Cabbage, sausage, and potatoes were stacked in a baking dish. Mustard cream tied it all together like a warm coat. Chipotle beef ragu needed hours, not minutes. Smoky, spicy, and worth every second. Best over polenta, even better cold. Chicken Dean casserole was just chicken, broccoli, and so much cheese it could have made you cry. Retro dreams in a dish. Spanish rice with peppers and tomatoes didn't ask for much. Just bold color, big flavor, and a fork. It lit up the plate without breaking the bank. Stuffed peppers were the good dinners you remembered. Loud, colorful, and packed to the brim. Meat, rice, maybe some cheese, all hugged by a bell pepper that refused to slouch. Lemon chicken piccata had zip. Sautéed chicken swimming in butter, lemon juice, and those little green capers you learned to love. Scalloped ham and potatoes were the cure for a long week. Ham, sliced potatoes, cream, cheese, and silence while eating. Roasted carrots with honey and butter weren't just a side. They were the golden, sticky treat hiding next to the meat. Tamale pie hits with heat and sweet. Spiced beef buried under cornbread topping, scooped out in steaming hunks of comfort. Lentil and kale stew came from struggle. Tough greens, strong beans, and a broth that stood its ground. A vintage dinner built to weather any storm. Roast chicken with stuffing and green beans was a postcard meal. Crispy bird, bread that soaked up gravy, and garlicky greens on the side. Black-eyed peas and collards were soul food before soul food had a name. They grew in backyard plots, simmered in shared pots, and fed generations with pride. Easy to grow, rich to eat, and full of history in every bite. Turkey and sweet potato gratin made leftovers feel new. Cheesy, layered, and bubbling, like it belonged on a magazine cover. Vegetable pot pie with biscuit crust came from neighbors sharing whatever they had. Warm, soft, and enough to go around. Cabbage stir-fry wasn't trying to impress. Just garlic, onion, and backyard cabbage in a hot pan. It sizzled, softened, and fed the whole table without saying a word. Wild rice and mushroom casserole didn't need meat to matter. Earthy grains, soft mushrooms, and a creamy sauce did all the talking. A 1970s dinner with nothing to prove and everything to give. Smothered pork chops didn't hold back. Slow cooked in gravy and onions until the meat gave up and melted. Turkey with mashed turnips and gravy flipped tradition. One of the 30 sinfully good dinners from the 1970s you'll never taste again. Tuna noodle casserole ruled the vintage dinner table with quiet power. Creamy, crispy, and always gone before seconds were offered. A good dinner didn't need frills, just a can, a bake, and a crunch. Fried green tomatoes were Dust Bowl gold, crispy, tangy, and made from whatever survived the drought. Dipped in cornmeal, pan-fried to perfection. Then gone before the skillet cooled. Baked ziti was molten cheese, rich sauce, and meat stacked like a skyscraper of comfort. It never showed up quiet, and never left leftovers. Chicken a la king wore its name well. Creamy, dreamy, and rich with sherry. Poured over toast or rice, it was royalty on a budget. Sloppy Joes were messy on purpose. Sweet, saucy beef piled high on soft, squishy buns. They dripped down your hands, stained your shirt, and nobody cared. It wasn't dinner. It was a delicious disaster. These vintage dinners from the 1970s were more than meals. They were warmth on a plate, made with care and whatever was on hand.